Hey, Brandon Bonhoeffer here, guys. It is February in Wisconsin, and yes, my glass is totally fogged up. Today has been an incredible day throughout Wisconsin. As a matter of fact, central Wisconsin here is seeing a lot of crazy weather recently. We went from sub-zero temperatures not too long ago to some crazy snow. We're getting 7 to 10 inches are going to be coming in a forecast in the next couple days. But one thing crazy that happened today here just west of where I live, north of Osseo on I-94, there was a major pileup that took place. When I first saw some of this footage online, I thought to myself, oh my gosh, that's pretty crazy. I actually spoke to an individual. He gave me the permission to use some of his photos. But then after that, it wasn't a matter of a few minutes. My father called me and he said, and I just knew something just wasn't quite right. I have my dad on the phone, Roger Carl. Dad, tell me a little bit about where were you at, say, noon, or when did this accident really take place?
Well, it was right around 10 after 12. I come off Highway 10. I was going westbound on Interstate 94. About the 85-mile mark was the exit. I see a guy, a snowplow truck was waving at me and I wasn't doing about 40 miles an hour, and all of a sudden in front of me I could see what he was waving. There was a big pile up, and I did my best to stop.
You said as you were approaching the road you saw that snowplow truck. Was it snowing at the time of this accident? How far was your visibility?
Oh, visibility was, I would say, good half mile. You know, it's just, it was good. I mean, I talked to a couple people and found out what the problem, how it started. But that's a car was passing a semi in a left hand, and he got into snow and he hit the brakes and he lost control and bounced into that semi. And meanwhile, behind that was another car that seen it and lost control. And then by that time, we got wrapped around the trucks and all that. So I don't think it happened. It took more than maybe about 2 minutes before it all happened.
Why couldn't you see? Normally when you're driving down the interstate, you can see a pretty far distance, and if you're going 40 miles an hour, you would have thought the cars would have had plenty of stopping distance between them. Was it just, was there a curve? Was there a blind sight? Or why did the accident really kind of just come up in front of you?
Well, it's basically, it was a straight part of the road, I mean a little bit of hill, but it was just like, say, the one side of the road, the snowplows weren't out yet, except for that one, and one side of the road was it was clear, but it was glazed over, and the left side was full of snow. And so when the first car did what everybody else's chain reaction, and the cars didn't know what to do.
Yeah, and looking at some of these photos, I mean, it looks like there was a handful of semis that were involved. You know, there was a significant amount of cars in the ditch. Were they in the ditch because they were trying to avoid the accident, or they come in contact with the accident, and that kind of is where they got thrown?
Some yes, and then some, like say, when they'd seen it, they were just, they tried to get in the medium, and then the one Swift truck, he jackknifed, and I suppose it was just like that. I don't know if the pictures even show it, but the cars basically ran into the side of his truck, and that was my case. I was going to try to hit for the medium, but there were so many cars going in there, and then chain reaction basically started behind me too, because people were trying to stop, and I mean, there was nobody out there, giving directions as far as I could see, except for that snowplow truck, and he was doing the best he could, but by that time it was just too late.
Now they shut down the whole interstate and they diverted traffic around the accident.
Another major accident between Black River Falls and Osseo, so they have closed. Basically, the road's closed from what I hear from Black River Falls to Eau Claire yet.
Now, looking at a lot of the vehicles, it's Sunday afternoon. It looks like a lot of the vehicles are vans or family vehicles. Did you happen to talk to anybody, and what was some of the conversations that were taking place on the side of the road?
I mean, I had two people give me a hug because I didn't hit them, and the lady. Well, it's a lot of traffic from Minneapolis going back, and everybody was calm and cool. We just basically got out and started checking to see who was hurt and who was all right, and like I said, the one girl, I pulled her out of the car, and I ended up giving her my blankets so she could stay warm. But like I say, as far as I know, there was one serious person and they got hurt real bad, but the other ones are just basically the small fender benders. And
Now, you're no stranger to driving truck. I mean, you've been doing it for how many years?
45 years.
And do you have any idea how many miles are underneath your belt through all this time?
Well, it's got 4.5 million, and basically it's 30 years without an accident or a speeding ticket, so that's what bugs me more than anything else.
You know, that was the one thing that kind of shocked me. You said this was probably one of the most significant accidents that you've been a part of, and you know, getting and thinking about that. I mean, what made this incident different than other accidents that you've seen?
It shook me up because, you know, there was nothing I could do. You know, then have somebody come out and hug you because I didn't hit him. So that's probably about the hardest part.
Well, Dad, I'm glad you're okay, and I hear you're going to be spending the night at the truck stop. How do you feel about the snowstorm that's coming up in the next day or two after this incident? We're supposed to get anywhere 7 to 10 inches here in the next 24 to 48 hours.
Well, it'll be interesting because, I mean, I got to wait until tomorrow morning to find out what they're going to do with this truck, if they're going to get it fixed or where they're going to get it fixed at. So I might be off for a day or two trying to figure what's going on, or give me a different truck or whatever. So, but yeah, it'll be interesting. When I left, I counted about 5 ambulances there, and they were more or less for the injured and for the people that had to stay out of their cars. They offered a couple of ambulances, Bloomer and Strum and all that came to keep everybody warm, I guess, as far as I know.
Well, there you guys have it. That's a little interview with my father. You know, one thing I've learned in the last couple of years as we've been doing more and more media coverage, that even in a small community, central Wisconsin, I mean, there's a few 100,000 people that live within a decent radius of where we do most of our coverage from. It's crazy to know the amount of relationships that we have and how close and how all intertwined we all are. We are all impacted by news like this today. Guys, we'll continue to give you the coverage that you guys count on. If you love what we're doing, by all means, hit that like button, subscribe. This isn't always the best case scenario to ask for those types of things, but it's also moments like this where we get a chance to connect with new people so that down the road we can showcase them some of the different things that we like to cover that aren't tragic. But guys, stay safe out there. We got a big snowstorm coming again. This lens is just fogged up, but that's what you're going to get here in central Wisconsin. The weather out there is definitely brutal, so make sure you pack blankets and water whenever you travel. I'm Brandon Bonhoeffer, and guys, thanks for tuning in.